Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So yesterday I did part 2 of my Uber lawsuit, and today is part 3. And I'm doing part 3 because, well, stick around. I'm going to let you know why. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. So yesterday I I posted my video about my Uber lawsuit, and part 2. Now I'm posting part today. And there's 3 fingers there. I didn't just want you to see the middle one. So I found something. I came across something very interesting this morning, and I'm not really sure where to go with it. So I'm not doing anything. But the rideshare professor had said that once they were served, that they would try to get in touch with me, most likely, because they don't want to go to court. Because I mean, yeah, it's a small claim suit, but you got to understand the way things work as far as lawsuits. The more lawsuits they have, the worse they look, the easier it is for class actions to be brought forth, the easier it is for other people to sue. They'll look at case studies, they'll look at court histories, they'll look at what other drivers are suing for, and if it falls into the same guidelines or same blanket that my small claim suit is for, then there's a good chance other drivers will win. There's a better chance that other drivers will win. That's why I'm doing this series. I understand it's not a comfortable thing to sue somebody, especially a big corporate giant like Uber or Lyft or Grubhub, or I'm sorry, Doordash, or whatever, side hustle gig industry you happen to be going after for a wrongful termination or whatever the case may be. But I'm not going to just sit idly by and let them get away with it. What they did was wrong. What the passenger did to me was wrong. Remember, I've been shot at twice driving for Uber. Second time, it almost killed me. Okay? When I pushed the 911 button, they hung up. I was outside of the vehicle, trying to stay safe and begging for someone to call 911 because I'd left my phone in the car. And nobody, because they couldn't physically talk to me, they just hung up. I would think they'd have called 911 and geolocated me because they couldn't get a hold of me, but they hung up. So anyway, again, Uber it's really tricky. But I've got a few screenshots I want to show you. And the reason being is because, well, check out screenshot number 1. This is my face page for my Uber account. And as you can see, I can see the map and all this other stuff, but it's telling me, action is required. So check out this one. That's what I've been seeing for over a year. Account blocked. I couldn't get in touch with Uber customer support or anything. Even if I went to customer support, what you're seeing is what I got. Until this morning when I went to contact Uber support, and I got this screenshot. And then this one. And then this one. Really? So for over a year, I haven't been able to get in touch with Uber support because they kept saying my account was blocked. Blocked. And now all of a sudden, Uber support wants to chat with me. Check out this screenshot. And Yes, this one too. They want my registration and my insurance and my vehicle inspection. They want it all updated. Wow. So now they were served papers on February 2nd, which was Thursday. Here it is 2 days later, and I'm just playing around, and now they want Uber support is sending me messages. Are you still there? We're going to end the conversation because you're not replying, blah 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 blah. That was for a year. I couldn't even get through. I got the account blocked. Now they're sending me emails stating that they want my vehicle information updated again. If you are in my situation, you can do whatever you want, but me personally, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. And I'll tell you why. Because I think it's Uber's way of screwing me before we get to court. Because if I respond to their support, if I even say, hey, I'm filing a lawsuit and I want to be reactivated and all that stuff, and they just somehow reactivate me, then I'm going to have a hard time in small claims court. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to win. It just means it's going to be more difficult because now Uber can say, hey, this guy served his papers and we put him back on the platform. He was able to, his vehicle's been approved, his background check's been approved, he's got access to the app, and here we are in court. Why do we have to pay him? There's still the wrongful termination. There's still the third party. There's still the fact that the app holder misused the account. There's still the fact that the third party who the app holder called the ride for threatened to tase me. There's still the fact that, again, I've been shot at twice and they haven't done anything, and drivers are getting stomped on. I made an amendment to my report, and I will let you know what that is in another video. I don't want to put too much out because if Uber does watch this video, I don't trust them. I don't trust anything that I'm seeing on the app right now. And I think it's a ploy. I think it's a way for them to say, hey, we did what we could, and this guy's all signed up, whatever. So I'm not touching it. I just thought that it was really, really strange, and I have to give some credit where credit is due. Rideshare Professor told me that they would email me. And I actually have a couple emails. I can't show you those because I'm not really good with the, I forgot that app. Mighty Heidi Dream Warrior tried to get me to use it, and man, it was like trying to learn how to fly a jet blindfolded. It was horrible. But anyway, so it took 2 days, maybe even a day. I mean, I could have checked it yesterday, but who knows? But they were served on Thursday, and here it is Saturday, and now they want, I can get a hold of support again, and now they want all my vehicle information updated and my background and everything else. And there you have it. So if you want to file a small claim suit, if you were wrongfully terminated and you have documentation about everything, then do it. It's not that hard. You can get, the paperwork is relatively simple. However, if you are having a problem, check out Rideshare Professor and Gig Rocket. They do all the work for you. And, they'll help prepare the paperwork and what have you. And for me, I think what he's charging is a very fair price for what he's offering. So there you have it. Part 3. I can now contact support. I'm sure they're waiting to, they're going to try to, I don't know. But I don't trust them. So we'll see what happens. I'll do another video if I get more information, or if they actually try to contact me and, what have you, make some type of agreement. So there you go. Part 3. 2 days after they were served, I have access to support, and they want all my vehicle information updated. And I'm not doing it because I don't trust them. I want to go to court. Unless they make me an offer that I find reasonable before the court date, I'm going to court. So that's it for now. I hope just fight the good fight, and don't let these corporations treat you like garbage. Until next time, be safe, be professional, keep it real, and if you must, drive on. I wish you all the best of health. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Part 4.